Welcome back to my channel. Grab your coffee. We are going to do some painting today. What we're going to do is we're going to use this reference, and I'm going to show you what I do step by step in this process. So you can just follow me, and some of this, as you go, you'll see that I'm exploring different features, especially with the brush, and also the photo features when we get to the final stages and changing the color and the saturation of the color and darkness and light and all that, and adding detail. So we're going to use a combination of the brushes, which you can get some custom brushes from gumroad.com, and you can also get brushes on cubebrush.co. And I'm using Photoshop, using the service Photoshop CC. And so we're going to jump right into this. We're going to use this brush. Let's see. You can either use a regular brush or you can use one of your custom brushes. There are brushes for a more painterly look, and that's what I'm going for. That is the goal in the end. That's the kind of result that I want, is a painterly look, a more traditional, kind of like with a lot of acrylic-like strokes. So that is my goal. I don't like the real smooth looking paintings. I want it to look very traditional like. So what we're gonna do with the photo layer, we're gonna lock it so that we cannot mess with it, and we're gonna click on new layer, and this will be our painting layer. And now we can choose a brush. I'm making sure the opacity is all the way up. Now you'll change the opacity every now and then if you just want to gradually put color in, or gradually, flow the ink out. Because right now it's on 100%, and our first step is gonna be creating the canvas. So I'm gonna hold Control and click on the icon or the picture on the photo layer. See, that's the dimension. This is one way of creating and you have the painting layer selected, and you can just fill it with any color. And then deselect it, Control D, and then you can just move this over. That's one way of just having the same dimension, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do something totally different. We're just going to start painting. So this entire thing has a overlay of pink. So what I'm going to do is just paint a space right here, and there's this mid-tone. Let's see, the mid-tone would be this, because it's in between light and dark. So I'm just going to use an in-between color just to create a space for us to start painting. So what I usually start with is the eyebrow and the eyes. So with the eye, we can use the color picker to choose the colors from the painting, from the reference, and the more you do this, the less time it takes to get the likeness or the areas that you to establish the locations of all the features of the face. And what I typically do is I compare the distances between different features of the face to get the accuracy. See, this goes right here. This goes a little bit like that. You can see this goes down right here. And you have the eye, the lower lid. And you can choose the midtone to take away certain areas. It's kind of like sculpting. You just gradually building and taking away and pushing and molding the shapes that you want. You got the eye. This swoops down like this. And you can see the shapes. If you look at everything as just shapes, you can get better accuracy. Let's see. The curve right here is like right here. So I'm gonna do that. And this is the shape right here. I'm just making sure it looks pretty good. Resize. And then we have see, that's going across here. And up. Okay. So we're just putting in basic. I'll make this bigger. Putting in basic areas in here. Basic shapes. There's a shadow right here. And now we got the hair. There's this color, this light color we're going to put right there. And we got this area. lighten this a little bit. With the eye, we want to make sure that we get the shadows in the eyeball. Because we want it to look spherical. And this. Now, I'm putting in the eyelid. There's different parts of the eyelid, so I'm trying to get this small part in here. That can be kind of the hardest part sometimes. There we go. Let's see, we have blue eyes. And I'm gonna get some darker colors here, because there's a shadow up here. And then you got the eyebrows. And it does a curve like this. And it doesn't go below here. It goes right in the middle here. See, that's how you measure where everything, all the features of the face are, is relating one feature with another feature. Like this tear duct right here is about just slightly above the bottom of this iris, or the eye, the middle of the eye, just slightly above it. So you have two parts. And I'm gonna use this pink. If I can grab this pink. Two parts right there. The only part that has to have like really, really good detail is the eye, and everything outside of that. Because you want your audience to, you want the people looking at your painting to have their focus on the main subject or the main area that you want everyone to see. Now I need to pull this down just slightly. So what I can do is go to Filter and Liquify. And all I have to do is choose one of these tools, push forward, that pushes areas. And you can do this with sketches as well, sketch lines. You can move them. Let's see, I'm going to decrease the brush just a little bit using the brackets on the keyboard. There we go. just a little bit. I think that's about right. And I'm gonna hit OK and get back to painting. Now I'm gonna use this color for the light in the eye, and I'm going to use it for just putting a little bit of dots. You could turn down the opacity so that it's not too strong. All right, and I'm going to turn this to around 80, 70. And we're going to start getting the other areas. Let's get this dark. And I'm going to make some little strokes here for the lashes. And now we have these other areas that we need to get. There's a piece of hair. I'm going to use a light but dark color so I can shape the hair. And then I'll go back over it. You got pieces of hair that go up this way. And the distance, see, slope about right there. And we have the hair going like this. We got, this is a horn actually. And we have that going all the way over to this side, all the way over here. So the horn's going to go like that. And we have hair that goes like this, up and then down on this slope, about right there, just a little bit below. It's where it stops. And you have this piece of hair right there. And it ends at the bottom of the eye, somewhere in this area. And we got the right angle. And it goes down slightly. And there's a heart right here. And we'll go ahead and sketch that in. And I'm going to color that in right there. Let's get this part. This goes this way. And this right here ends like right here. You see how we're measuring? So it ends about right there. And we can adjust later if there's something, a little off. Okay, we got this horn. We're just going to color this in. Use a bigger brush so I can go ahead and just... I have it on 70% as far as the opacity. So that kind of helps me just gradually put in detail instead of just putting it in heavy right off the bat. I like to gradually bring in details. Right. Let's go back to this color maybe, or this color. And we see where the hair, the distance, this part is gonna go, because I'm looking at the shadow as a shape as well to help me. So we got that. Now here we got the light shape right here. This is where that Band-Aid, and it's a little bit above the heart as far as where it lines up. And then the Band-Aid ends about where the light in the eye is. So that's going to be like right here. And it's close to the heart. So the Band-Aid is going to be about right there. And then it curves. And when it curves a little closer to the heart. And actually almost, about right there. And it's about the length of the eye, almost the length of the eye, as far as how big it is. And then the slope, this dark area right here at the bottom is about where the tear duct is. And I'm just gonna go to 100% and fill in this area. And then we'll get to the hair. There we go. And turn this down. And so the nose is about where the tear duct is. And we can start making the shapes right there. And this is where that slope ends, at the bottom of the nose. I'm going to click and then hold shift and go horizontal, because this is where the picture ends. And then I can make some more marks here. And I think it ends, and I'm going to go vertical. I'm going to click and hold shift, and then it'll go vertical. Maybe a little bit over. Maybe about right here. That should be. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. There we go. Now, we have it at 72. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit more. We're going to do this part. We're going to make sure this part is more refined. And we got that. We got a shadow. There's a really light pink somewhere in here that we can. There's a shadow. The shadow on the cheek, it ends like right here. So that's, there we go. You can barely see it, but we'll start darkening areas. There we go. Let's go. Let's go ahead and maybe put this line in. I'm going to choose. That looks about right. I'm going to do the hold shift and go up. All right. And let's put the shadow. Choose a good shadow. There we go. The shadow is not this dark, so what I'm going to do is do that. That should be good. And because of the opacity, I can just gradually build this. Because it's not all dark there, but it's... Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and use a... I'm going to color this in. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have some strands that come down. And let's see, I'm just marking some areas so when I get to them, I can just do them. Okay, let's go back to the eye. We have a shadow, slight shadow there. Now, we can go in here. This is really light. Almost white. So I'm going to choose a lighter color and then go in here, and I have the opacity set, so there we go. And the shadow looks good. And I'm going to go even lighter. Let's take this down. I'm going to go with this heart right here. And there's some light in here. And light right there. And put some light up here and light up here. This little light right there. Right here. And okay. This Band-Aid. I'm just going to go ahead and color this in. It doesn't have to be completely solid because we're going for the painterly look. Now we got the hair. Now we're going to use a really saturated pink. We're going to bring this, maybe we need a thick brush. Let's see. We're going to make that pink. There's some purple. See if we can get some purple in there. And bring this, get this part right here, get that pink. Now I need to get a darker pink for the darker areas. There's a shadow right there. And I'm going to paint over this just a little bit. Let's make that even darker. And yeah, mix that up. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm kind of making sure that the shadows are also the right color. Now I'm going to use some really light, if I can get, it kind of looks gray. I'm going to make some strands here. And there we go. And you see how light they are. And they go straight up. There we go. And then we have some light hitting the hair up here. I'm going to have to choose some really saturated colors to get this to look right. I have to fill this in. There we go. And get some light right there. And we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to use some light color. Let's see if we can get that pink going over the eye. And we got some areas over here. I'm gonna put some dark shadows right here, and then go back to the light and start bringing it over. And we need some pink. Alright, and it's looking pretty good so far. Just need to fill that in. Now we got some strands right here, and I actually need to go into the brush properties and make sure it's on pin pressure so we can create a strand like that. Close that, and yeah, there we go. Let's get a strand here, and then I'm gonna pull it down. Has some strands coming down. There we go. And there are some strands that come from over here, and they kind of cross over. So you got that, and let's start doing the light on the skin. And now that we got all that, we're going to use the marquee tool and we're going to draw a box, because we're going to change some colors that we have. Let's do the hue. See if we can get that up just a little bit. And we're going to do new layer. And we're going to use the brush. We're going to turn the opacity down, maybe the 29. We're going to add some, we may have to use one of these. Let's try multiply. I'm going to use a blue and go over this blue area again. See what shade of blue. Okay. Let's bump this up just a little bit. Yeah. It gives us a better make sure it's not too much in the pink. And some blue here. Now I'm going to go to the purple, maybe start real light, let's see, and put some purple right here, maybe around the eye just a little bit. Now I could choose from here and do a little bit of and just put some different colors in there. All right, and maybe right here, I'm going to increase the size of the brush. Got that right there. And go over some areas. Choose this dark color and go over this area. And maybe the shadow right here. And a little bit more shadow right there. Bring this brush down. There's a shadow like right here. There we go. And this shadow right here is actually red. So we're gonna choose a red color. There we go. And put a little bit of, there we go. And we have created a very cool painting that looks a lot like the photo, a lot like but you know, with more vibrant colors. We can still add, we can still draw, you know, using the marquee tool and go in here and make the colors more vibrant if we want to. We can do that and make it look even better than the actual photo. So, all right, let's add more details. We're going to use the brush. We're going to go to, let's see, this is light. We're going to start getting into to white. The light in the eye, we're going to go ahead and put that in. And we may have to make some adjustments to let's make this a little bit, let's see, the brush size, we're going to need the 7. And let's turn the opacity up. And I'm going to actually borrow some colors because I need to move this down and reshape this. There we go. Now we're going to use blue to white, almost white. And we got our light. I could put some right here, right there. I'm going to put some white right there. And some white down here. I'm just going to dab some white. Some right there. And now I'm going to turn the opacity down, maybe to 30. And put some light colors right here, light right there, and then some light right there, light right here, right underneath, and some right here, maybe right there. And all these small details sometimes they make a big difference. So putting in these small details can really help and really bring out this character or this person. It really helps in concept designs and things like that. Now, what I'm going to do is actually go to the mixer brush tool. And this I'm going to do sample all layers up here. And you see the settings here. This is so that, and I'm going to do new layer. I did one layer for the details and another layer for mixing. And you spell that correctly. And I can go in here and just create some smudges. And you choose the colors around and you can get some good. This is how you mix in the sketch lines as well. If you did a sketch first, you can just kind of blend them in. I'm going to choose this light color and just go on this. And just put some extra details. And you can start mixing in colors in other areas. And what I do is try to make these they look like just little smudges. So it looks really authentic. Let's put a little blue over here, a little light, maybe a smudge right there. And you're finished. You have a painting that looks, very painterly and traditional. And I like to use this kind of style. This is my favorite style to use. And you're using all the traditional ways of getting things, painted in and locating features of the face, and you can use a grid if you want to, but this makes it even more authentic and by hand. So every little detail is placed by you. So I hope you enjoyed this, and join me next time. We're going to do another reference photo. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and also on YouTube. Make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. So I'll see you guys next time.